Hello again. My name is Miguel. And today I'm gonna make for you chicken soup. This is not chicken foot soup. This is just regular Jamaican chicken soup that we oftentimes cook on a Saturday. Okay, so the ingredients are about half pound to 1 pound of chicken, depending on how much soup you're gonna make. Half pound of beef. Okay, this is optional. I'm just giving you the recipe for the entire method of cooking chicken soup. Some people add beef and some don't. It's optional. We don't have plenty. It's just like 2 or 3 pieces. 1 Scotch bonnet pepper, a ripe one. A cock soup, noodle, chicken noodle soup. Any noodle is good. Anyone you like you can buy, but I tend to like cock soup. I'm not gonna tell you what brand this is. A carrot or 2 stalks of scallion, a teaspoon of pimento seed, chocha, about half of a chocha slice and dice, pumpkin, half to 1 pound of pumpkin. We're gonna peel it and let it dissolve in the soup. And Irish, I'm gonna put the Irish now, 1 Irish. You can, I'm not gonna use any Irish in this because personally I don't like Irish in my soup because it tend to put too much starch in it. So I'm not gonna use any Irish, but it's a part of it. It helps thicken the soup. Rosemary. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of rosemary, finely grated. It's optional. I'm doing natural cooking. I'm not gonna use no powder seasoning whatsoever. I will use basil, about a tablespoon, between a teaspoon and a tablespoon of basil, dried basil or fresh, and parsley. A teaspoon to 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. And we're gonna make flour dumplings and salt. A tablespoon of white vinegar and about a tablespoon of oil. It's optional. And I'm also going to use yellow yam. So half pound to 1 pound of yam, depending on the quantity you're cooking. I'm going to use about half pound or 3/4 pound. First thing first, if you're going to use beef, we're going to pressure cook the beef. Add 2 cups of water. Put the stove's gauge on 6 for now, which is high, medium high. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down on 4. So add 2 cups of water and the beef. Add a piece of the beef. Alright. You can use soup bone too, or anything like that. You don't have to cut it that big. And this may I use that much in it. It's like 1/4 pound. It's like 1/4 pound to half a pound. So that's 2 cups of water already. Alright. Put your pot lid on. Probably make sure that's on. Make sure this is on. Once it starts to whistle, we're going to time it for 15 minutes. 15 to 17 minutes, but I'm going to leave for 15 minutes. Maybe all 12 minutes because it's a small piece. You know, beef. You gotta make sure. Okay, now remember, now you always hear me say the rule in Jamaica for soup, or maybe around the world, I don't know, but in Jamaica the rule for soup is that we do not add onion. This is the only thing we're gonna add. We're not even gonna dice it. So now we're gonna prep. So the first things we're gonna put in is the yam and then the dumpling. Well, no, If you're using round dumpling, like a donut, you can put the dumpling around 5 minutes after you put this. But if you're using spinners, you can put the spinners in about 20 minutes before you finish. About the garlic, we're going to use 4 cloves of garlic. However, if you're sick, like you have a flu or whatever, you can use about half a peg, half a head. You can use half of a head of garlic. So this starts to whistle. Put your timer for 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. So the stove gauge on 4. Okay, while we wait, let me tell you what I know. Okay, number one, a lot of people is against eating beef, but guess what? Beef is the reason why you have that big brain of yours right now. Research it on your own. I'm not going to go into that. And beef now, it's best if it's tenderized, or what a lot of chefs do is beat it with a steak thing, with a steak tenderizer, and then beat it till it's tenderized, and then fry it or cook it through whatever. But what we often do in Jamaica is boil it for hours. If you have a pressure cooker, pressurize it until the meat is tenderized. Okay, when it's tenderized and broken down, that you can break it with your hands, your stomach digests it better and it won't stay in your system as long. But if you don't tenderize it, it will stay in your system for a very, very long time, and that can be cancerous. Okay. After 12 minutes, just turn the stove off and allow that to cool, and start prepping the seasoning and the yam. Okay, this took about 8 minutes to cool. It didn't take long at all. This is a small amount. So this is what you want to get it tenderized. Like this. Like that. So, see, that's it. So that's a beef burrata. Add 8 cups of water in total. So we started with 2 when we pressure the beef. I just added 2. So that's 6, 8 in total. So you just put 1 cup of water aside. You know, if we're going to add water to it. Okay, we're going to prep now. So this, we're going to peel it when we're going to put it in. Alright, we're going to have 2 plates. One for first add, and one for the second add. So the pepper, I'm going to put the pepper at the second add. The pimento seed, we're going to put it half. It's like a teaspoon. When I was a little boy, I used to, at my grandmother's place, great grandmother really, in Hanover. That's too much pimento, man. But yeah, it's soup. My great grandmother used to beat chocolate, and one of the things she used to do too, she used to dry pimento. She would have this big pimento tree in her yard, and then she would break the branches off and then put it on the sink or crocus bag in the sun and allow it to dry. And then it's green, this was green at once. And then it comes to this. This is the rosemary, dried rosemary. This is optional. I add it because I find it to be flavorful with almost everything. So this is a teaspoon. You just want to grind it up fine. Fine, really fine, like dust. So this is like half a teaspoon. So I'm going to put half right here. Half in my first batch, half in my second batch. Basil, dried basil, or fresh. Half of the basil over here. Teaspoon, between a teaspoon and a tablespoon, but not a tablespoon. Secret to using herb in it is not to use too much, but don't use less. Too less. While we do that, you can put this to a boil. Put the stove gauge on high until it comes to a boil. You put it on 4. Alright, the garlic now, I'm using about 4 cloves of garlic. Put it in the first batch. So I'm not going to crush it because I want it to just break down in the soup. While the soup boils, it's just going to crush. I'm going to mash it in. Put 1 over here. This now, chocha. I'm going to use, you can use all of this one because this is a small chocha. So just peel it. Peel it. Yeah, you can leave a little, you can leave, once there's not dirt in between, so you washed it before you even peel it. And just cut this off. Cut it off. And just slice it like that. Slice it like that. And cut this off. And then cut the heart out. So this, we're going to put this in the second batch. The second add. Alright, this is the pumpkin. Peel it. Make sure it's peeled. This is the first thing you're going to add. If you are adding Irish, I'm not going to use Irish because I personally think Irish spoil the taste of the soup. I want a rich chicken soup taste. So if you were going to add Irish, you'd add it the same time like now. So I went ahead to rinse these. So let me see now. The salt, we're not gonna add the salt. We're on like a teaspoon or between a teaspoon and a tablespoon of salt. Alright, so alright. Don't forget to add 1 spring of thyme. I just tell you. Just kinda mash it. You can use a spoon and just beat it on the surface. So let's add that. The garlic, the first add. Let's cover it. dice this, dice the pumpkin. Let's dice it in some cubes. But this is gonna dilute in the soup. That's why we're adding it first. You're not gonna eat pumpkin, it's gonna be in the soup. Put the stove gauge on 4. Keep it on 4. That. Now we're gonna peel the yam. You wanna add a piece of the chicken. So prep your chicken. You wanna add a piece of the chicken so it can get going. So the flavor get going. A piece of the chicken with the pumpkin. To take off the skin and the fat. So you just dice it. I'm gonna add this. Add the chicken. You know what? Preferably the one with the bone here before the breast. Should I add this instead? Add the one with the bone before the breast first. So now if you have a little oil, it's recommend that you put at least half a teaspoon of oil in your hand and just rub it all over. Just peel. Spill it thin. Oh, I'm not using all of this. Not that much noise. You just peel it thin to the blade. Don't rinse the yam. Just peel it and make sure all the dirt is off. Just hold it like this. Cut it like that. And then add it carefully. Keep the stove gauge on 4. If you're like sick, like flu or so, a piece of ginger would be good in it. However, it's optional. You don't have to add it. Add it in the first add. Like quarter of one finger or half. Add the ginger. Add the white vinegar. So after about 10 minutes in the first set. So this is about 10 minutes since we're boiling it. Add the other chicken. Add the other chicken. Covered with the stove's gauge on 4. You don't want to boil it too fast. You just want to keep a medium-low simmer. Don't forget to add a thyme stick. spring of time. Right, while this boil, we're gonna add the flour. So I'm using about a cup of flour. About a pinch of salt. And just add the water. Let's work it. Visit my website for the exact ingredients. I'm gonna do spinners. I'm gonna sort this out and come back. Alright, this is flour dumpling. Flour dumpling don't take long to cook. And you don't add cornmeal into soup. At least not that I know of. Most people do it. But I don't think people really do that. But people do anything they want. So let's work this to the dough. To a dough. Oh, the chicken now. The chicken, you know, depends on who you're serving it to. You don't have to cut the chicken up. You can put the chicken in like a whole thigh, a whole leg, half of a breast, and stuff like that. Piece of wing. Alright, so I'm gonna make some spinach. Good, reasonable size. This is not soup, no, this is soup. You see on my website I have a family proportion, and I have like a single family proportion. So you want to make a dumpling about that. Spin these. Can I keep them apart because they'll stick. Alright. So we're going to add these now. See, this has been boiling for about 18 minutes. So add your dumpling. So the pumpkin, I'm gonna smash it out like that. Make sure you see. I'm gonna smash it out like that. It's gonna break out still, but it won't hurt to give it a push start. And if you were cooking Irish, you wouldn't do this to the Irish. Irish should break out. We're doing a slow cook. I'm tempted to turn the stove up, but no. I'm just going to let it go and simmer. Near to the end, I'll turn it up. We're still on 4. Add 1 teaspoon of salt for now. Just a teaspoon because I'm not sure how salt this is. So you just want to do a taste test in the end. Near to the end. Don't do that, be careful. Burn. That's 30 minutes in total. Add a second add. Mostly herbs. vegetable. We're going to add the carrot, but the carrot is going in last. The carrot is going in at the end. So you see the soup I take shape. That's our soup, chicken soup, plain old chicken soup. Rich, natural, healthy food. Alright, so let's cover that and allow it to go and simmer. To add the oil because I feel like the chicken has oil in it already, but add a teaspoon of oil. Oil kinda help get the soup body and depth. I don't know how to explain it further. Although they mostly use whole cloves with beef, this is soup. You can put 2 single whole cloves in it just to body up the flavor, just to spruce up the flavor some more. Every 20 minutes you stir it. Alright, this is nearly 40 minutes. You want to look for the garlic. Although they'll smash out easily still, but it won't help to break it out. The garlic, be mindful of the pepper. You just want to keep it just like that. Don't break it, don't cut it. Make sure it's don't have no cut whatsoever. So you just leave it to simmer. Only step leave is to add the noodles, the chicken noodles. Okay, this noodle is 50 grams or 1.7 ounces. This chicken noodle. That's it pretty much. This is what it looks like, and this is what I don't like, the powder seasoning, but hey, you cannot avoid it, you have to use it. I wonder what they put in that thing. I wonder what's all that pink stuff. What is it really? You see, we need to know what we're putting in our body. That's why I'm against powder seasoning, because I just don't know what it is. Although it says whatever on there, but all of those are probably chemical. But hey, chicken soup noodles. Alright, it's been about 40 minutes. Because I want this thing to cook out, I'm gonna add it. About 30, about 40 minutes in. Because the noodles, you don't want them overcooked. Just like that. So you add 1 pack. Stirring well. And just cover it properly and boil away. Let it boil away. 50 minutes in. Alright, it's pretty much ready. If you're not going to eat it right now, turn the stove off because you're going to add it up. And while you're adding it up, it's going to cook again. So you can turn it off until you're ready to eat. Or if you're going to eat now, just let it cook for about 5 more minutes. You can remove the pepper. So that's 50 minutes in all, and we pressure the beef for about 12 to 15 minutes. So in all, it took about 1 hour, roughly. Alright, now 1 hour. Alright, turn this off. That's the oil. And then at the end, so add it at the end when you're finished. Okay, so it's cooled a little, and this is about 1 hour and a half since you cook it. So now I'm gonna serve. So I'll warm it up. I'm gonna put it on high and just warm it up and then serve. Alright, let it boil up. Just to say, if you were gonna eat it just after you finish cooking, turn the stove up on high and boil it up. Kinda get it creamy. Look good. So in total this take about an hour and about 8 minutes. Look at that boil, boy. Look at that boil, boy. Yes, now would be a good time to taste it to see if you want to add more salt or not. Just be careful because I want to taste this, but it's just too hot right now. See, I don't like that much salt, but the salt is good enough for me. So that's it, you can turn this off. We're going to serve. So now, we're going to serve. Alrighty, now we're going to serve. So I put the yam and the dumplings in first. Remove thyme sticks and the scallion. So that's chicken soup. That's chicken soup. Chicken soup with beef. Chicken soup with beef. Alright. Let's see if I can sample this thing here. Alright. Excuse my slurp just now. I know it's hard to drink soup and don't slurp. It tastes really nice. It's rich, just clean and nice. and rich. If you try my recipe, you'll see that you can cook without adding powdered seasoning. Let the noodles be the only powdered seasoning you add. And see, for those of you who think the carrot might not cook, see, the carrot cook more than cook. So see ya, Jamaican chicken soup always have a piece of beef in it. See, dumpling. Okay, now I'm gonna store it. So chicken soup, and 14. We're in October 7th. Although I say I don't like soup, this soup was very satisfying. Trust me, it was. Up to now I'm still full, and I only had one plate. I'm still full for the entire day. I don't think I'm going to eat anything else. Chicken soup. October 14. Okay. Alright. For those of you who love to add butter to things, trust me, try it one day and do not add butter to this. The thing was so creamy. It's as if butter was in it. I didn't add any, so don't add no butter. And the onion, don't add any onion. The thing tastes awesome without onion. Alright, to store this now, if you're gonna eat this again like the next day, you can stay in the refrigerator for like 3-4 days the most, and then you can freeze it for like 2 months. The only thing though, the dumpling will get soft, and the carrot is gonna get soft. Gonna eat kinda trashy, and the yam too, but it still tastes good. So get a bag like this. And just store it. What I do is say, when I hot this up, I just take some of the dumpling out and throw it out, and just drink the soup alone. This is nice. Say one evening you come from work and you don't want cooking, you just want something quick to eat. This is ideal. You just defrost it. If you want to defrost it fast, just put it in some water. Never want to put the chicken leg in, come here plan to eat it, but trust me, I am so full. And you just tie it. You can use a Ziploc. This is just a regular plain plastic bag I buy 100 in a pack, 8 by 12. You can use Ziploc or plastic container or anything. Alright. So now, see, some of the plastic bags, and just, I just do this, put it in a second bag for insurance. Now just put my pack in, like that, and my date. Date is important, trust me, because sometimes you forget when you did it. So when that's my soup to be frozen. I know this is something different, but look, this is another meal, stew beef. It says hard, this is frozen. I did this just this week.